Hi, today we will explain how to solve IGCSE trigonometry questions. The first thing that I have to do is the rules of the trigonometry, the basic rules of the trigonometry. For example, if I have a right triangle and I have an angle called x, and I have the opposite side for angle x is the opposite. O means opposite. And now, sine x is equal to opposite over hypotenuse, O over H. Cosine x is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. So the length of the adjacent divided by the length of the hypotenuse. And the tan of angle x is. Then, for example, let's see one question on this. For example, I have this triangle has an angle 42.6 degrees and has a side called x and has the 9, which is opposite to the 90 degrees, is 9. So now I will try to find the side x. So first of all, I have to determine whether the given and the required, are they opposite, are they hypotenuse, are they adjacent? So I know that this side is the opposite and this is the adjacent and this is the hypotenuse because the 9 is opposite to the 90 degrees. So this means that the required side and the given side are adjacent and hypotenuse. So I look back which rule deals with adjacent over hypotenuse. It is cosine x. So this means that I will say cosine 42.6 degrees is equal to the adjacent, which is x, over the hypotenuse, which is 9. Then after that, I will solve for x. Now notice something very important when you try to calculate that. Do not calculate cosine 42.6 first and then you round it and then you multiply by 9. No, put x is equal to, bring the 9 there by multiplication. So it will be 9 cosine 42.6 degrees, and make sure that on your calculator the mode of your calculator is on degrees. So then after that you will just need to find or calculate 9 cosine 42.6 without rounding now. So 9 cosine 42.6, and then after you find the side you calculated, it is equal to 6.62 units, because here they didn't mention for us the units. So x is equal to 6.62. This is the length of x. Now, notice that I rounded my answer to 3 significant digits. This is number 1. Let's move on to number 2. I have angle 38.7 degrees and the side x. Now the side x, as you notice, it is opposite to the angle 38.7 degrees. So this is the opposite. And this side, which is opposite to the 90 degrees, this one is the hypotenuse. So it is not given and it is not required, so I don't care about it. So the third one is this one. This is the opposite and this is the hypotenuse, as we know, and this is the adjacent. So I have the adjacent, which is 10, and the required is the opposite. So which rule deals with opposite over adjacent? Now there is something that you can remember with toi. What does this mean? Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. And tan is opposite over adjacent. So you can just memorize them using soh, kah, toi. Now, so which rule deals with opposite over adjacent? It is the tan. So I will say tan. So now because I don't need this side, I don't have it and I don't have anything about it, so I just remove it. So tan 38.7 is equal to opposite, which is x, over the adjacent, which is 10. Then tan 38.7 is equal to x. And then I calculate this and it will be 8.01. Next, here I have k and 11. Now k is the opposite and 11 is the hypotenuse. So this means again soh is dealing with soh kah toi. So soh means the sign is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. These are the ones that the one that is given, which is the hypotenuse, and the one that is required, which is the opposite. So I say sine 71 is equal to k over 11. Then 11 multiplied by sine 71 is equal to k. Then I calculate. So 11 sine 71, it is equal to k, which is 10.4. Correct to 3 significant digits. Now, after that, let's see number 4. Now here I have not only one triangle, I have more than one triangle. So I need to figure out which one I have to start with. Always you have to start with the one that has two things given and one unknown. So I search for a triangle that has two given and one required, or more than one required is fine, but the thing is that I have to have two given things in the triangle. So let's call, for example, triangle ABCD. So of course in triangle ABC I have two things given. I have the angle, right, which is 70.2 degrees, and I have this side which is 100, and the required side is x. So how to get side x? I will say sine 70.2 is equal to opposite, which is x over 100. Again, the x is the opposite, the 100 is the hypotenuse. How did I know? Because this is 90 degrees. Because since this is 90 degrees and this is a straight line, so of course this is a 90 degrees. So sine 70.2 is equal to x over 100. So now 100 sine 70.2 is equal to x, and then I calculate x. So I will have 100 sine 70.2, which is equal to x equal 94.1. Correct to 3 significant digits. This is x, but then I need to find the y. Now I will now move to triangle ACD. ACD. Now notice that I already found x, so I can use now the x that I found, which is 94.1, and the 45 degrees to find the y. So how to find now the y? Now find y. So how to find the y? Now the y is the opposite. It is opposite to 45 degrees. And the AC is the adjacent because it is not opposite to the 90 degrees and it is next to the A. So it is adjacent, it is next to the 45 degrees and it is not opposite to the 90 degrees. So this is the adjacent and y is the opposite. So now I can calculate the y. I will say now, which rule deals with opposite and adjacent? It is tan. So tan 45 is equal to y over 94.1. Then 94.1 tan 45 is equal to y. So y equals, we calculate this and it will equal to 94.1. Now look at that triangle. I have x there. This is the x which is required, but all of the rules that I learned about the trigonometry are dealing with right angled triangles. Now I don't have here this triangle. Let us call it A, B, C, and this is D, for example. I don't have here ABC is not right angled. So ABC is not right angled. So I can't do anything with that triangle. But I can call, for example, this length y and this is z, and I can find from triangle. So look at the procedure that I will follow. Find y from triangle BCD, then find z from triangle ADC, then z minus y will give me x. So first I need to find the y. Okay, so let's use triangle BCD. Here this is the 90 degrees, this is the 100, and I have here 30 degrees. I have two givens, so it's now easy to find the y. The y is the opposite, the 100 is the adjacent. So this means that I will use tan, right? So tan 30 is equal to opposite, which is y, over the adjacent, which is 100. So now 100 tan 30 is equal to y. Then I calculate this, which will give me 57.7. So y is equal to 57.7. So I found y. Next, I need to find, so this is step 1. Step 2, I need to find z. I will use which triangle to find z? ADC. So ADC. Now notice that angle A is 50. Okay, good. So I have angle A is 50 and I have DC is 100. So now I can calculate the side Z. So Z will equal the side Z with respect to the 50 degrees, it is the adjacent, and the 100 is the opposite. So again, it is tan is equal to opposite over adjacent. So tan 50 is equal to 100 over Z. Now, the difference here that the Z is the unknown no problem. I will just make cross multiplication. So Z tan 50 is equal to 100. And then Z is equal to 100 divided by tan 50. Then after that, I calculate using the calculator. 100 divided by tan 50 is equal to 83.9. Now, next, if I want to find an unknown angle, like here, angle M, okay, first of all, I look at the given sides. With respect to angle M, what are they opposite, adjacent, hypotenuse? This is what I need to know. Now 72, now of course the 100 is the hypotenuse. It is opposite to the 90 degrees. The 72 is the adjacent, right? So I have adjacent and hypotenuse. So what will I do? I will say cosine M is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse, because you know the rule is K, right? So adjacent over hypotenuse, which is so I will write cosine M is equal to 72 over 100. So now I will write, don't write, I'm just explaining for you that it is, the cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, but just write cosine M is 72 over 100. Now, after that, I will write cosine inverse 72 over 100 is equal to M. Now, how can I do the cosine inverse using the calculator? You press Shift, cosine, press Shift, cosine, and then plug in 72 divided by 100 and then close the brackets. So press Shift, then cosine, and then 72 divided by 100 and then close the brackets. Now this will give you 43.9. So angle M is 43.9 degrees. Okay, next. Okay, in this question, I need to solve for x. But the problem is that the triangle, let's also call the triangle ABCDE, for example. Now, the problem is triangle ABC that contains x does not have enough knowns, because I need two givens or two an angle and a side, or two sides, or to get the required, or to get the thing that is required. So the problem is that in triangle ABC that contains x, I don't have two givens. So what will I do? I have to first check what do I need to find in this triangle, or what can I find in this triangle. I can say I can use the triangle. So let's just make a plan. I will use triangle AED to find AE. Then I will use triangle EDC to find EC. Then I add AE plus EC to get AC. Then after that I will be able to then use triangle ABC and use the AB and AC that you found to find angle X. So this is the strategy that we will use. So first of all, I need to find AE. So this is number 1. So let's just start. In triangle AED, do I have two givens? Yes. So I can easily find AE. So this is AE, and this angle is 58.2, and this is 12, and this is the 90 degrees. So with respect to the 58.2, this is the opposite, and this is the adjacent. So I will use tan. So I will say tan 58.2 is equal to 12 over AE, or over AE. Then AE multiplied by tan 58.2 is equal to 12. Then AE is equal to 12 over tan 58.2. After that, I finished from AE, but I didn't find yet the answer for it. So AE will equal 7.44. Okay, I found AE. Now, next, I need to find EC. So step 2, to find EC in triangle ECD. So again, I will draw a triangle ECD, ECD, and I have here, this is my 90 degrees, and I have here 28 degrees, and this is 12, and I need to find EC. Now, with respect to the 28 degrees, this is the EC is the opposite, and this is the adjacent. So this means that I will say again, tan 28 is equal to EC over 12. Then 12 tan 28 is equal to EC. Then EC is equal to, and I calculated, which is equal to 6.38. So EC is equal to 6.38. Okay, now next, what will I do? I have to find AC, so I just add AE plus EC. So now I find AC, which is equal to AE plus EC. So I add them, and so AC is equal to 7.44 plus 6.38, and this will equal to 13.82. Now I found AC. Now the third thing is to find angle X. So now the triangle is like this. This is the 90, this is the 13.82, and this is the X that is required, and I have also the 10. Now no need to put the 90, just know that this is the 90 degrees, and therefore the 13.8 is the hypotenuse, and of course angle 10 is the opposite. So this means that I will use sine, right? So sine X is equal to opposite over hypotenuse, right? And then sine X is equal to 10 over 13.82, and to find angle X, I will say X is equal to sine inverse 10 over 13.82, and then x is equal, and you just calculate x by the calculator. Again, as I told you, shift, then sign, then put 10 divided by 13.2. Shift, then sign, then 10 divided by 13.82, and close the bracket, and then equals. And this will give you 46.4 degrees. Now this will end our lesson today. Okay, and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have, please, any questions, just comment below the video. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much.